Well, it's just me. Sorry. Hey, friends, happy Sunday, not Friday, Sunday. I'm sitting here in my sewing room and I had expected to be joined by Sean from The Guy Who Sews, but he's a little under the weather and unfortunately had to cancel. So I decided, because I already told everybody Friday night that I was going to be live on Sunday at 2, and this is normally Ian's spot, we are going to take it because he moved to Saturday and he couldn't do Sunday. It was just better to just go live. So rather than cancel and try and put the notice out there that we are canceling, I just figured I'd come live for a little bit. Might not stay for a terribly long amount of time, but at least I'm here and we can do a little sewing together. I have put a poll in the chat. Would you like me to work on the Mufasa quilt? Because I love the lion. And that's really what I've been trying to focus on, mostly because my goal is to have that pieced by the end of January. So it does take up a lot of my time right now. Or should I deviate for a little bit and work on the pandas as originally planned with Sean? Let me know. There's a poll going right now, and I'm telling you, the panda quilt is ahead right now, 56% to 44%. So probably looks like I'm going to be working on the panda a little bit, which will make Mary quite happy, I am sure. Won't get done today, but maybe we'll make a little bit of progress. We'll give that another minute to run. In the chat, we've got several people here. I'm just going to hop down. Hello to Melissa. Is Ian always going to be live on Saturday now? Anna's asking. No, he had a commitment this weekend. He had plans with a friend to go out and do some things on Sunday. So as a result, he moved his live stream from Sunday at 2 to Saturday at some time, whatever time he was live yesterday. So that was a one-time thing. But he should be returning next Sunday. Janine said, I voted for Mufasa, but the poll keeps staying close. Yeah, look, we're at 51% panda, 49% lion. So listen, like, we'll give it another minute or two. I am prepared to work on whichever one the poll says to do. Oh, we're up another point for the panda quilt. We're at 52 to 48. So Sharon says, hello from a snowy, windy New Jersey, 12 inches so far. Keep it all. I don't want a single drop of it. Thank you. We've got Rachel Nelson here as well. Happy snowy Sunday. Hello, Rachel. Melissa Feldhouse is here. Hello, hello, hello. I also see Jackie. She's here. She says, hello from rainy Phoenix, Valley of the Sun. Agnes is here as well. Hello, Agnes. We've got a little bit of a crowd, so this is going to be great. Let me know in the chat what you guys are going to be working on today, because it looks like I'm going to be pulling out some panda fabric. We're still at 52% to 48%. Mary, if you had to vote for one, which one would you vote for? Pandas. Yeah, of course you would. Yeah. She'd vote for those pandas for sure. So one of the things that I've been trying to do is set goals for myself, quilty goal for myself every month. And so there's one project that I want to finish every month, or at least finish piecing. And the lion is my goal for January. I do have, in order to stay on track with that goal, I need to have row E finished by the end of today. And there's 8 blocks in each row. So right now for the lion, I have 6 of those 8 blocks fully pieced. I am working on the 7th block. It's about halfway done. And then I have the 8th block that hasn't even been started. And those 2 last blocks are very detailed. If it gives you any idea, I worked on a block equally detailed for this, and it took me literally all day yesterday. Now, that was getting up, moving things around, doing other things, getting distracted, all of the different things. So I might still be able to stay on track with the. Mary said she changed her vote now. So that's my goal for January, is to get the lion pieced. My goal for February, actually before Tiffany comes in February, is to have the panda quilt pieced, because Mary, for those of you that didn't know, Mary will be taking this quilt. I will be gifting it to her, and our plan is to ask Tiffany to quilt it. And since she'll be here, we were hoping to get her to quilt it on my long arm so that we could bind it and gift it to Mary at QuiltCon when we see her at the end of February. So my goal for February is to get the panda quilt not only pieced, but quilted and bound and labeled and gifted. So timeline-wise, Mufasa is a bigger priority, but because I was focusing on working on the pandas today anyway, we're going to give you the opportunity to weigh in. Lori says, hello, Becca from Forest, Virginia. Hello.
My sister-in-law and brother-in-law live.
That Mary said, that's where my sister-in-law and brother-in-law live. Can we give you a mic?
Oh, sorry.
Because otherwise I have to repeat everything. That's okay. Where is the other mic? You'll have to find it. I don't know where it is. No, that's not it.
That's not it.
No, that's the receiver. Don't touch that one.
It's right here.
Okay, thank you. All right. Shirley says, I am working on Christmas quillos for next year. Wonderful. Mary, what are you going to work on today?
I need to work on a bag, on the
Mary's going to work on a bag. Yep. Christina said, I got a legit kit and I'm... Give it here. Give it here. Mary, Christina says, I got a legit kit and I'm intimidated by starting it. Do you have a video? Yes, it is. You just didn't turn it on.
Oh, I tried to turn it on.
The battery might be low. You got to hold the button in.
Okay.
Christina says, I got a legit kit and I'm intimidated by starting it. Do you have a video series that might help? I do not. However, I do have a live stream. If you go all the way back, there's a video that I did towards the beginning of 2024. I think it was February, March timeframe. It has a picture of the polar bear, the legit kit polar bear, on the thumbnail. And in that video, I kind of walked you through how I was breaking everything down. Essentially, it kind of walks, you see me working on it a little bit. And then also a couple of weeks ago, I did work on Mufasa in a live stream. And so you can kind of see what I was doing there. But I don't have a video series. I just have those 2 live streams where you can see me doing it real time. Okay. The crowd has won. I guess we are going to be working on the panda quilt. The panda quilt has won 53% to 47%, so we'll be pulling this out, and I am going to very carefully take all these little tiny pieces of Mufasa and set them aside so that I do not lose them, because all of this is going to be a block. All of this is going to be one block. So I'm going to put that over with my planner, and we're going to crack open this bad boy, get started, and we'll see just how much is here to do. There's quite a bit, as you can see. Wow. I'm a little lagged. Why am I lagged? What's going on? Whatever. Okay, it's caught up. It was weird. When I first opened the video for the camera, it was a little bit lagged, and it might have just been because something else was running in the background. So we're just going to make sure we close all of those other applications so that I can focus on doing all the fun things over here. The boxes that I have for my projects, Danelle is asking where did I get them? I got them on Amazon. All of the equipment that I use in my room is linked on my website. If you go to sobecca.com and up at the top, it says about, and then you do my room or my equipment or something. Everything I use, storage, equipment wise, is all linked right there for you. All right, so this is some extra brown fabric. Oh yeah, I remember where we left off. we were missing some of that brown. We were short one piece so that we could put this one together. But I don't remember exactly where we were. Oh my gosh, this is such a mess. Okay, first thing we're going to have to do is heat up my iron and make sense of this project. So you guys will get to see in real time how this system actually is working for me. So Debbie says, first time getting to watch you live. Thank you, Debbie. So for those of you that missed it, I have talked about this quite a bit, about how I keep these bins, and I put all of the materials that I have for my project in one bin. So when it's time to work on a project, I just pull out the bin and it's got my pattern and my fabric and everything I need to do. The thing that's missing from this that I would recommend is a project sheet that just shows you where you are in the overall process, or any notes that you have for yourself. And that's because I keep all of that in my planner, but I do have some PDFs that I have made on my Etsy shop that you can purchase the whole pack for $10 if you're interested in it. Exclamation Etsy in the live chat will get you a link to my Etsy shop. So what I'm going to do is pull out my blocks and just kind of try to remind myself of where I am. As you saw, I haven't touched this since the last time I was on a live, we were building out these panda faces. So this is the block that I was hoping to have done last time we worked on it for all 20 pandas. Now you heard me right, there's 20. And this is what I had started working with. I was taking the ears and putting them onto either part of the head, and it looks like some of them got pressed and some of them did not. So we're going to start, that's where we left off. We have 2 ears, but we were missing this little rectangle to make the rest of the head. Okay, so my goal for right now is to get all of these pressed. And then we will start making our faces. Jenny says, I love your video setup. Thank you. I love it too. Hey, Mary.
Hmm?
Did the light stand? It did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use my Acorn Easy Press Pen and a hot iron. Kelly says, I use those 12 by 12 blocks from Michael's for the fabric needed, pattern, and etc. I love the project boxes, Susan's saying. Love it as well. You gonna grab a project to work on something?
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
I haven't eaten my lunch yet, but I
Oh, well,
wanna
here,
do
just
that.
take your microphone off and eat your lunch.
Oh,
That way they
I'm
don't hear
fine.
you chomping.
I know.
Just take it off while you're eating, okay?
Okay.
Some people don't like the sound of chewing in their ear.
Nope.
And that would pick it up very clearly.
Yes, it would.
Mary was very kind, and she ran out and grabbed Burger King for us for lunch. So I literally wolfed down my sandwich, and my belly is very happy now. I had a clapper around here. Oh, it's underneath my fabric that I am pressing. Good grief. Susan says, I am piecing the blocks on my featherweight sewing machine. Awesome. What are you looking for, Mary?
Oh, never mind. I see it now.
Never mind. She sees it now. What is it?
The bag stabilizer. The, what do you call it? The thick foam stuff.
Oh, soft and stable?
Yes, there you go.
Oh, yeah. We put it on the top shelf because we don't make bags very often. What are you using that for?
It's part of the Holland bag.
No, you've already done it.
Oh, okay.
No.
But I just used batting.
Yes, but you're all done.
Okay, cool. Okay, I was just looking at the pattern. And
No, the pattern says to use soft and stable when you're quilting, but you quilted it with batting, so you're not going to add that now.
Okay, no worries.
Mary is working on putting together the Holland bag. It is a pattern from Center Street Quilts. It's the same company that made the Hemingway pouch, which I did a video tutorial on. And I've done a couple of them. I've done a couple of the Holland bags. I really like them. They look like toiletry bags. So I'll be doing a video tutorial for that. It'll drop in February. So she's working on putting one together today. And I will say, like, if you plan on doing the Holland bag and you don't have a machine that can handle really, really thick layers, my recommendation to you is don't use the soft and stable. And I'll cover that in my video tutorial, because when you get to those inside seams, they're going to be very bulky. Denise says, hello, so Becca and all. I really like that beige and tan fabric color. Mary, Denise likes your fabric pull.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't already checked out Sean's channel, it would be really nice if you could. Exclamation Sean in the live chat will drop a link to his YouTube channel, and you could stop over and give him a quick little link, a quick little subscribe. So what part are you using the clapper for? Only part of the quilt block? I am using the clapper for this seam, and the reason why I'm doing it is because if you look under here, I've got these points and it's adding a bit of bulk. And so my trick, you can ask Mary, I don't want to toot my own horn, but my quilt tops tend to be very flat.
Yes.
So what I do, the trick that I have is anytime I have bulk that I want to lay flat, I'll use an Acorn Easy Press Pen or starch. If I want to starch the whole block, I can do that too. I apply heat to that seam or that block, and then I put the clapper on it and I allow the seam to cool underneath that heavy clapper. This absorbs the heat and it allows the memory for that seam to be reset to that super flat position. I get a lot of seams pretty flat with that method. And the reason why I'm using the Acorn press pen is because right here there is a bit of bulk that I can feel with my finger, and I want to get it to lay as flat as possible. Jackie says, that's why I have the Janome HD Mechanical. It's so great on thick seams. Yeah, I've not had a problem with it on my Juki, though I will say for the first time ever, I broke a needle on my Juki when I was putting together the Holland pouch, but I was using an 80-12 needle. I would recommend you probably step up to a 90-14 for that bag because of how thick those seams are. Jackie says, my daughter and grand surprised me with an invite to lunch tomorrow. Girls' last day of Christmas vacation. Wow, they're still on Christmas vacation?
Wow.
Yeah.
Not fair. We have to work.
Thanks so much for the explanation, Robin saying. You're welcome. Pat says, hello, Becca and Mary, working on my temperature quilt and 365-day quilt while I listen. Awesome.
Hi, BFF.
I need to write down the temperatures from the past couple days because I have not done my blocks. I think what I will likely do is just record the temperatures for the entire week, and then on the weekend, I'll do all 7 of my blocks and put them together. Lori's asking about the pen that I'm using. This is the Acorn Easy Press pen that I just explained puts the starch on the seam. That's what I was talking about. $90.14 or denim needles are all I use on my Janome, Jackie says. Girls are on a modified year-round schedule. That's why they're still on Christmas vacation. So they go to school year-round. There is no Christmas or summer break for them. Tamara says, nice progress on Mufasa. Stupid question, but who is Sean? Sean is the guy who sews. He has a YouTube channel here called The Guy Who Sews. He is the gentleman behind the push into this Elizabeth Hartman pattern. He's been talking, he does patterns like this frequently, and he's been talking it up a lot and challenged me to actually take one on. So we are both doing the same pattern with different fabric as kind of like a collaboration. We're both sewing that not always together, but we've been trying to continue progress on the quilt and hold each other accountable to getting one done. I'm sure I'm going to chop this name. Maja says, good morning from Melbourne, Australia. It's 6:35 a.m. here.
Oh my goodness.
Good morning. I hope you have a beautiful sunrise. Carol Lawrence says, I use my Juki 2010Q for everything, bags and quilts. It's a workhorse. I will agree with that sentiment. Hello, guess who, Nancy? I hope you had a wonderful birthday. Do. Feel like we need some background music.
I know.
Sing
What?
for us, Mary.
Oh, you don't want that this morning.
Carol, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate that. Nancy said she had a wonderful birthday.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm glad to hear that.
At least it's sunshiny today. It's not pouring down rain.
Yeah, it's very sunny out today. In fact, for the first time in probably, I feel like it's been weeks, maybe even months since I've opened the blinds all the way. Like they're all the way up. And it kind of gives me like that I just moved into this house vibe because I lived in this studio without blinds for so long. Remember, Mary? Like
Yep.
it was always there.
Yep.
Maya,
You
not
could
your fault.
always see
Got it.
out there.
Yep, we could always see.
I like that though because I like to be able to look out of the window and see outside.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to, my next step for the window treatments is to have some valances with the V, not B. I always want to say balances. I'd like to put some valances across the top because I want to open the blinds, but I like during the day, but I still want the window to look a little dressed up. And then, during like nighttime and stuff, I want to be able to pull them down to have the privacy. The blinds are really there just so I can have privacy if I want them. But honestly, most of the time I want them open because I want that sunlight. Achila says hello from Black River. I can't talk today. Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Hello. Oh, I cut that too short.
So what I'm going to do, this was my stopping point last time because I got to the point where I was trying to make these panda faces and I realized I was missing this middle unit here. So, gosh, I'm still delayed and I don't know why that is. Let me close this. Let me see if... I'm going to close out of Safari and come back because that could be taking quite a bit of processing speed away. So we should be a little bit faster now. Nope, it's still very much delayed. Interesting. Let me get YouTube back up and running. Sometimes this happens if there's too many things open. I'm literally sitting here looking at the thumbnail on the video, waiting for it to open. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I have to click on it to get it to load. Let's go. I'm going to go back to, oh, no. Yep, we're going to go to this. We're going to reboot that camera for a minute. Worst case scenario, we just don't have the overhead camera because that delay is pretty horrible. I don't know why it's doing that. Let's reboot the camera and see what happens. Nope, still delayed. We're going to try one more thing. I'm going to reboot the ATEM. But unfortunately, doing that means I have to run around to the back of the desk to unplug it and plug it back in. Okay, turn that off, turn that back on. See what happens. And we'll make sure to get the chat back up so I can see what's going on. The green names, Catherine, are for folks that are paying for the channel membership, not the VIP membership. So if you've purchased a channel membership, YouTube does that for you. You can do that by clicking on the little $ icon down at the bottom of the chat window. And when that pops up, it'll give you the option to join channel memberships. That is different than the VIP membership I have on my website. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Okay. Much better. So in the future, you just need to reboot that. It still looks like it's a little bit laggy, but not that bad. Okay, so for this panda, what was happening, Mary wanted this quilt to be supersized. Normally, the pattern calls for 9 pandas to be on this quilt, and she wants it to be bigger, so she's asked for 20. So instead of doing a 3x3 configuration, I'm doing a 4x5 configuration. So it's going to be very, very long and somewhat wide. I think it's going to be, I'm worried that it's going to end up being a runway quilt, if I'm being honest, but we'll figure it out when we start putting them together. I know I have to start building the pandas. The problem that I had when I last worked on this is I was building the tops of these so that I could attach them to the bottom of the face unit and make that face block that I showed you earlier, which is right here. The problem that I had is I got to these 2 pieces and I realized I was missing this brown. And we had cut and labeled everything for this kit. So it wasn't in the baggie that it was supposed to be in. And we had to order, because we didn't have any scraps, we had to order some of this fabric and I needed to wait for it to come in. And I ended up just setting this aside and thinking, you know what, I'll deal with it when the fabric came in, and I never did. I think what I'm going to do, instead of going into the pattern and trying to figure out how big of a piece I need to cut and all that other stuff, I'm just going to set this aside and I will make this panda face offline, but I'm going to take progress on the other 19 faces. Well, actually 18, because one's already done. So all I've got to do is take all of these ear units, and then I have all of these face units. I see Donna's in the chat. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Donna.
And then I'm going to just sew them together like this. Donna says, Mary, you did a great job picking that pattern. It's gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
All right.
If she remembers, I was cutting those pandas out at the last retreat.
Oh, were you really?
Yep.
That's funny. Turn this off, and here we go. I'm just going to start sewing these together. Joni says, hello, Becca. You recently mentioned flipping the acorn pen tip around from the chisel to the rounder tip. My pen is easier to use now. Thanks for the tip. You're welcome. And also, I can't take credit for that tip because I got it from one of the viewers. And it is a game changer. Oh, I'm not paper piecing anymore, so let's turn that up. Turn that stitch length up a little bit. Don't need it to be 1.2. Michelle the Quilter says, hello, Becca and friends. I can't stay too long. I'll watch the replay. No worries. Okay, so I'm going to try to get myself a little organized here. I'm going to set the pieces that I've put together here, and I will just pick up, sew, I'm going to do this assembly line. So I'm going to make all the face units. I'm going to sew them all, and then I will press them all. What I've been trying to do with this pattern is, rather than building out one full Panda unit and then repeating that 19 more times, I'm taking the one step that I'm working on and I'm doing that one step 20 times, so that at the end, every step of the way, I'm making progress on all of the face or all the Panda blocks all at the same time. Catherine says, I'm deep into the hedgehog. Those little tiny pieces. Yeah, they can be overwhelming. And they can be a little tricky to work with too if you don't get, I feel like starch and ironing and pressing your seams open are your best friends when it comes to working with little pieces. A lot of starch, a lot of starch, a lot of starch, a lot of heat, and a lot of patience. Anthea says, good afternoon. I was watching the Friday replay and you said you'd be live now, so I jumped over. Awesome. Heike is here from Germany. Hello.
You got a worldwide audience today.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit easier when you change the time up. People that can't normally watch might have availability during a different time of the day. That's part of the reason for all of the sewing with friends, that they're just videos that I plan to do during my not normal time frame, and usually I have friends on here with me. Jackie says, I should be downsizing my quilting and card making stuff. I have 4 to 6 months to finish, but I'm pooped out today. I know both Mary and Ian are both downsizing some of their card making stuff.
Yep.
Ian's getting rid of all of his.
Oh, he did?
Yep, he's done. He's jumped ship. He's not doing papercraft anymore.
I'll never give up my paper because I love
it. Michelle says, those panda faces are so cute. I have many Elizabeth Hartman patterns. I've adored them from afar, and I've never done them. Lori says, do you have the feeling that you are being stared at with all those cute little eyes? Yeah, I kind of do. And I'm seriously concerned that Mary's not going to be able to sleep because she's going to feel like she has stalkers in her room.
As long as there's no angry panda.
Oh, there will be an angry panda. Don't worry. You just wait. Uh-oh, I'm doing this one upside down, aren't I? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But now I'm literally terrified that the other ones have been upside down. I don't think they have, but I'm going to have to make sure I'm paying attention. Hello from the future. It is 8:47 a.m. here on Monday in New Zealand. Ima says, such a precious design. I can't wait to see the final result. Me too. In fact, I'll be honest with you. I can't wait for the final result to be done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready. Somebody take it. We're done. We're done. This one's been a labor of love. It's definitely a work in progress. And it is not going to be perfect.
It's okay. There's no such thing as a perfect quilt.
Yeah, says the woman who didn't like her stitches in one seam and took the whole dang thing apart and redid it.
That's just the perfectionist in me.
But see, that's the thing, Mary, though. Honestly, that's why I think not that it's bad for you to do that with your project, but when you do that, I think that makes other people feel inadequate with theirs. And so then no, but they do.
I know.
You're not doing it on purpose. And I'm not saying that this is a you thing. Yeah. I think when we are overly critical on our own projects, we're doing it from a place of, I know what I'm capable of and I want it to be better. But I think sometimes people see that and hear that and think, oh, well, mine is no longer acceptable because what they did was beautiful and that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it from this standpoint, if it's something that I have to look at all the time. I'm giving it away, I want it to look nice for the recipient, and I know they're not gonna know the difference. But that's just the I am a terrible ADD perfectionist. I know that. And oh, damn it. I took my jacket off from the microphone, just on the jacket. But people shouldn't be afraid to I mean, I always say that mistakes are always design choices. So
I just look at it like if you're a quilter and you're having fun with the journey, then that's really all that matters.
exactly.
If you enjoyed the creative process and your quilt is not perfect, it's still your creative item that you put together.
Right.
If what makes you happy is being extremely ODD about every single seam and every single stitch, whether it can be seen or not, then that's how you like to quilt, and feel free to stress out.
Yep.
If that's what makes you happy, go ahead and stress. But I wish we would all give ourselves
A little grace.
a little bit of room to not compare yourself to somebody else. Like
Exactly.
Mary, how long have you been quilting, Mary?
I started quilting in 1987.
Okay, I started
So-
quilting in 2017.
Yeah.
So there's 30 years that she's got on me.
But I haven't quilted continuously.
But you've known how to do it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So the point here is that she's been playing with fabric and thread off and on a whole lot longer than I have. 1987, I was 10 years old. Okay, so like,
Thank you, Becca.
totally welcome. So my opinion is, if she wants to be that perfectionist, that's fine, but I'm not going to compare my skill level or what I'm able to do to what she can do, because we are two different people, two different skill sets. And even if she would have started sewing in 2017, I still wouldn't compare, because we have different journeys. So this is my lesson, my pro tip to you: don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Exactly. Quilting is not a competition.
No.
They always say it's a work of love.
That's right.
A work of the heart.
Mary is sewing on the baby lock today. Mom is downstairs taking a nap, and that machine was set up. So she's putting the pieces together on the baby lock right now for this bag that she's making. How many more times can I add a pause into that sentence, I wonder?
I'm going to have to piece one of these pieces because I miscut my fabric.
Yep.
And I only had a fat quarter.
You can always make that smaller.
I know. I'm just
And I feel like for that bag, I wouldn't worry about the binding for the inside seams, because it's going to be a pain in your katukas.
Oh, that's what these are.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting binding on the zipper and then on the inside seams, and then you're going to box the corners, and then you're going to put more binding on the boxed corners. But for this one, I would recommend, after you box the corners and you line it up, you get a really nice tight zigzag stitch and just put the zigzags on those 4 boxed corners.
I agree. I don't like the binding on the seams.
Yep, I would just zigzag those 4 corners.
Yep. I just realized that was what those pieces are that I'm cutting out.
Yep. Don't worry about it. Save the fabric. Plus, I know who you're giving that to, and she will not care.
I know.
You know what? Mary, could you sit here and just talk to the chat for a minute? I have to take a human break.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay. Me and my panda friend will come and sit.
Admire the pandas, talk to the ladies.
Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you today? I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I have just a week left here with Miss Becca, and then I'm heading to South Carolina for my next journey of my life. So I'm enjoying the nice sunshiny day today and sewing with Becca alone in her studio, which is nice. So I can't see I can see the chat now. Okay, sorry. Hi, Dano. Hi, guess who, Nancy. I love everybody that's saying hi. Thank you so much. I'm going to miss being here at Becca's. It's been a lot of fun spending a little bit of time with her, but it's time for me to pack up and head south for the winter. No, you could say anything, Lenny. You can call me Crafty Panda. You can call me Mary. Whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner, okay? You guys have to forgive me. I'm not a in front of the camera kind of person. So when Becca asked me to sit here and chat with you guys, it's a little out of my comfort zone, but I love all of her subscribers. I consider you all friends as well as subscribers. So I'm happy to sit here and chat with you. Oh, I'm moving to South Carolina because it's that's where my mom and my sister are, but that's not my main reason for moving there. I actually went to college in Greenville, South Carolina, and I love the weather down there. I love the people in South Carolina. I mean, once you get past Fredericksburg, Virginia, you've got really much nicer people. So I just want to move south. That's where I want to retire. It's cheaper to live there than it is here in Northern Virginia. So thank you, Danelle. You're sweet to tell me that. I appreciate that. Oh, and Donna Heflin says she's got snow at her house. Oh, and yes, so Terry, you will continue to see me from time to time. Hi, Pat Strawhouse, my BFF. Yeah, no, not really comfortable, Karen, but I'm getting there. I've been joining Becca a little bit here and there. I usually kind of stay behind the camera. Like I said, I usually will mic up if she wants me to because she doesn't like to repeat what I say, so which is understandable. But I just I will chat with you guys in the background and while I'm working on a project. So oh, the panda pattern. It is a Elizabeth Hartnett pattern. If you just type, I don't know if there's a link for it or not, but I'm sure that we could probably put it in the recorded video in the comments or in the description box. I'll check with Becca when she comes back for if we could link that. She may already have it linked in the video. I'm not sure. You can check that once the video posts. Her live streams usually will post to her YouTube page after about half an hour or so after the live ends. So yes, Donnell, I'm going to to QuiltCon with Becca, Ian, and Tiffany. I won't be there the whole time, but I am planning to go to QuiltCon and meet them there. Hi, Sue. Thank you for subscribing. We really appreciate it, Sue Kalina. And oh, you got snow there in Salt Lake, Utah. Okay. Hi, Jewel. Yes, Elizabeth Hartman. Thank you. Yes, that's the pattern designer. I don't know. Oh, yes, she does. She has the pattern right here. So this is what it looks like. It's called Panda in Sweaters. I don't know where oh, here you go. I'll put it up to the camera. Oh, here you go. Sorry, I'm terrible at this. Here you go. Pandas in Sweaters. It's upside down. Let's do it this way. How about that? Pandas in Sweaters by Elizabeth Hartman. So hopefully that'll help you find the pattern. If you just search that on Google, you should be able to find it. So what are you guys working on today? Are you guys sewing or are you just watching the chat?
Everybody just got quiet all of a sudden. You're welcome, Polly. I hope you find it. It's a lot of cutting. Once you get past the cutting, it's not a really. I mean, it literally took me a whole day to cut out all the little pieces for that, and get them ready for Becca to sew all the pieces together. That was the deal. She would make the pattern. She would make the quilt top for me, but I had to do all the cutting. So. I don't mind doing all the cutting, especially when I double size or triple size the quilt for the most part. Or I actually double sized it, a little bit over double sized it. And Akila, it says she's quilting the Tula butterfly quilt. We have that kit too, and we need to get that started. Thank you for subscribing, Sandy Gray. I hope you find something that you like and enjoy on Becca's channel. Thank you for supporting her channel. We might have snow Saturday. I'd like to gift them to great niece. Oh, that's awesome, Ima. Hope I said that right. I hope I did. Homesick just watching. Oh, I'm sorry, Jewel. I hope you feel better soon. Hi, Michelle Striegel. Yeah, and this is a I tried the quilt as you go method. They're done now on the tree skirt like Becca made. My perfectionist capabilities didn't allow me to do the quilt as you go method because I kept having bubbles on the back, and that drives me nuts. So that's why Becca was saying that I took the quilt apart and redid it. I ended up not doing the quilt as you go method. I did the I basically pieced the top and then basted the 3 layers together. And then, actually, before I basted the 3 layers together, I basted the batting and the backing together. And then I did a basting stitch on the backing and the batting. And then I added the top to it, I quilted it and then removed all the basting stitches, which caused me extra work. But no, Jean, I haven't been to Atlanta to see the panda. I live in the DC area, and I've seen them many, many, many times at the DC Zoo, at the National Zoo. They're no longer there now, unfortunately. Very sadly, they have returned to China or have been sent to China, their hometown or their home country, because that was our deal with China when they were given to us back in some time ago. I think they came to us in like the early 1900, like not the early 1900s, the early 2000s, late 1900s. I know we got, we had Ling Ling and Xing Xing at the National Zoo first, and then they passed, both of them passed. And then they were a gift that, as a result of, I think it was President and Mrs. Nixon went to China, and they were gifted those pandas, and then they passed. When they passed, then China arranged to have Mei Xiang and Tian Tian come to our zoo in Washington, D.C., and the result of them being at the Washington Zoo is that we had 4 baby pandas. We had Taishan, we had Bao Bao, Bei Bei, and Chao Chi Ji. So, yeah. And here comes Becca back again. So I'm going to say bye.
I needed a human break really bad.
Somebody was looking for the pattern for the pandas. I showed them the pattern online, but I told them that I thought maybe we could probably put a link in the description box after when the video posts, but I wasn't sure if you already had it there.
I don't think I do. Oh, goodness.
Sorry.
I can get you a link. Just a second. I will go open up another browser. It's just going to take me about 2 minutes to get the pattern link. Ooh. I'm literally got dead air happening right now.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, it's a completely laid back live stream on Sunday. This is a different vibe than
Friday.
yep. All right, so I am going to give you an affiliate link. This will earn me a little bit of commission, not a ton, but a little bit, and every little bit helps. So that's what I'm going to drop into the chat for you now, and I will put it in the description box below. There you go. Okay.
All right.
Now, where were I? Where were I? That's apparently a thing.
Okay.
What else you got? What questions do you guys have? Flipped. Everybody's saying you did great, Mary.
Oh, thank you.
Were you telling them that you didn't think you could do it?
No, I told them that I'm not normally a in front of the camera kind of person.
Yeah,
I tend to be behind the scenes kind of thing. So
that's
it
her
it was
comfort
out of
spot.
my comfort zone. So
It was out of her comfort zone. Well, lots of people saying, Mary, you did great. So I figured you probably told them that.
yeah.
The clapper, do you use it a lot? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. What temperature quilt pattern are you using? I am using the same one that Stephanie Harris. She's also known as Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter. She is leading us through a temperature quilt, and I'm following along with her pattern. Ima says, I've never used a clapper, but I see many people do. It helps me get my fleams. Grief. Oh my goodness. I said grief instead of goodness. Shoot. I think I might be having a stroke. I'm messing up all my words. Is that one of the signs? Like inability to talk all of a sudden?
Don't think so.
The clapper gets really flat seams. What it is I combined the word flat and seams, and I got themes. That's gonna
You just created a new word.
just created a new quilting term. Themes, everybody. Themes. I like themes. F-E-A-M-S. Becca, how many pandas do you have finished? None. I have none finished. I'm doing every
She's
step
doing them in
20 times.
phases.
Yep. I'm assembly line. I'm not
There
doing
you
one and then another and then another. I'm doing all the steps at once for each one.
That's how I would do it too.
I think that's how Donna said she did her koala quilt as well.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
I think she did because she did part of that koala quilt when she was here visiting you.
Michelle said, I just got home after lunch at Red Lobster with my parents. I am stuffed. I am just going to sit back and watch you sew.
Oh.
Polly says, we had pandas here in our zoo in Memphis, Tennessee for 20 years.
Yeah, they were talking about pandas. And somebody asked me if I had gone to the Atlanta Zoo to see the pandas.
Did you?
No, but I told them that, the story about the pandas in the Washington Zoo. As much as I could remember.
Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Catherine's asking if all the shirts are the same color. No.
Nope.
All the shirts are from a fat quarter bundle that I donated for the cause.
And I couldn't decide on just 9 pieces either. So I wanted that. And plus I wanted a bigger quilt and I chose all of them.
Andrea is asking Is the FPP pattern for a temperature quilt that you are using the one on your website? Yes. She says she has crocheted a temperature quilt but never made the quilt version. Yep. I made the little FPP template for the individual blocks. That is on my website, but how we're going to put those together is a pattern that Stephanie has. I think she got it from Fat Quarter Shop. And now that I'm putting faces together, you can start to see these little shoulders down here. This is the hint of what each of their little shirts are going to look like when it's all done. So this is where you're going to start to see some of that difference come into play. Can someone tell me what a temperature quilt is? I'm beginning to believe my quilt vocabulary is out of date. Yeah, so a temperature quilt, really easy. Simply put, you basically decide whether you're going to do this daily, monthly, weekly. You can choose whatever interval you'd like, but most people tend to do it daily. And so you record the high and the low temperature for that day. And then the other part is you find fabric that represents all of the ranges. Some people do it by degree, which means you need a ridiculous amount of fabric. Some people do it every 5 degrees. Some people do every 10 or somewhere in between. I'm doing mine every 10 degrees. So if it's in the 90s, it's one color. If it's in the 80s, it's one color. And because you're using the same fabric legend for the entire quilt, you start to see a variety of when it was colder versus hotter and what the differences kind of looked like as the quilt plays out. So for me, I'm doing a different color every 10 degrees, and I am doing every day, but I'm not going to be able to make a quilt block every day. So what I've been doing is noting the high and the low inside my planner, and then on Sunday or Saturday over the weekend, I like to sit down and get caught up on those blocks. But there are some very intricate quilts that get put together that way. There are some very basic ones, all of them. Polly says, I will definitely order the Panda pattern using your link. Thanks. Thank you so much for using my link. I appreciate that. Helps me earn a few pennies. I can hear the puppies playing in the hallway. The color of fabric corresponds to a temp. Am I understanding that correctly? Yes. Yes, absolutely. So for example, I chose, I don't remember, I think it was 8 fabrics. I have a very dark, like a fuchsia color, which is for anything that's 90 and above. And then I have a few purples. One is 80s, one is the 70s, one is the 60s, and it goes all the way down to 29 and below. So anything that's 29 or lower is a dark blue. So it kind of is going to be blues and purples when it's all put together. But you can do it however it works for you. So you could be like 65 and 65 to 70, 60 to 65, which would be actually be kind of cool if you think about it, because then you get to tell what's the high 60s versus the low 60s. But it would require that I have double the amount of fabric, and ain't nobody got time for that. Actually, I probably do, but I've already curated the fabric that I'm going to use, so we're just going to go with it. Brenda said, thanks for the explanation. I thought it was just moving from cool to warm colors. Irish Sail Lazy says, I'm not crazy about quilt math, but if you make your blocks times 365, what is the finished size of your quilt? Well, it really depends on how big your blocks are. So the blocks, I will show you guys, since we're talking about the temperature quilt, I will show you what mine is starting to look like. My blocks for each day are only 2.5 inches finished, 3 inches unfinished. And then we're putting a little bit of negative space. So this is actually what I have for January already pieced. It has a little header, and you're going to have a column for each month. And I think there's going to be some negative space in between them. I don't know the finished size of this quilt, but the point is you could literally just make this with a 4-patch, right? You could just do, it could be like the top left corner could be the high, the bottom right corner could be a low, and you could make it however big you need it to be or want it to be. There's
I
all
like the
sorts of
little.
patterns out there for temperature quilts that you could follow if you don't want to do the quilt math. Fat Quarter Shop has a few.
I love the little pattern that you picked out, or that they picked out for this one. The little paper piece pattern. Ouch, that's hot.
Mary, do you know how you want your panda quilt quilted?
No, but we talked about possibly doing like bamboo stalks in the panda's paws. So that would be a good idea. I'm the kind of person that I love to leave the creativity totally 100% up to the long armor to do. But I do like the idea of the putting bamboo in the quilt, or in the background would be really cool.
Nora, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Jewel is asking, is anyone else doing the Fat Quarter Shop temperature quilt with the houses this year? I've seen a couple of people. I thought that one was really cute, but I'm not doing that one this year. Donna Mason is, though.
I had never really heard of a temperature quilt until you talked about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's the first I'd heard of it. And when you described, what you were doing and everything, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I can do that. I guess they're like a thing of the younger generation. I never remember them when I first started quilting. Ouch, that is hot.
Thank you, Brenda. Brenda just bought the pattern.
Yay!
Woohoo! I Love to Sew is doing the cross stitch version.
Oh.
Of probably a temperature quilt.
Yeah. I didn't even know
That'd
there
be
were all
fun,
different
too.
kinds of versions of it. That's really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool too to do, like if you did a cross stitch version and you made just a square of all of your different colors for each month and maybe filled it out so it looked a little bit like a calendar. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that would be really neat. Or it could look like, you remember Jenny Byers' rainbow? I
Nope.
can't remember what she calls it. The little mini quilt where she put like strips of different colors of fabric in there.
Thank you, Catherine, for supporting my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you. Jewel says, a friend of mine did a temperature quilt about 10 years ago with the quilt shop that we go to.
Yeah, I took a little bit of a break from quilting from like the early 2000s, I guess, to, oh no, it was, yeah, like 2001. That's when I started scrapbooking, and I didn't really touch much quilting unless I had a gift quilt to make.
Luann says, the pandas are so cute.
I think they're going to turn out really neat.
That overhead camera still has like a second lag on it, and
Oh,
I
really?
don't know why the video feed is slow.
Oh.
I think my computer just needs to be restarted. It's probably got some processes running in the background that are
Yeah.
slowing down the video card a bit, but it's not slow over here though.
Whoa.
So that's weird.
Yeah.
It's got to be the ATEM. It's got to be the ATEM. How did Mary and I meet? She stalked me. And one day I allowed her to come visit. I got tired of her blowing up my phone. No, truthfully, I moved away from Arlington, and when I moved out to the suburbs, she had extended an offer after my sewing room was finished to come out and help organize and put stuff away. And I really was hesitant to take her up on that because it just felt a little like I didn't want a stranger to come put my stuff away.
Stalkerish.
It felt weird to me. But I also wanted to get to meet people out here. So I said yes. Why is this not working? I said yes. And unfortunately, thank you, Marty, for the $5 tip. I really appreciate that. I said yes, but shortly after I said yes, my mom and I ended up with COVID. And so we had to cancel. And I hadn't messaged her. There we go. I hadn't messaged her back about it for a while. In fact, at all. Like I just kind of let it go. But I keep seeing her pop up in the live chats, and I remembered that offer. And so I kept saying, one of these days we'll do it. One of these days we'll do it. She's like, no worries. But she didn't pressure me. Louise, thank you so much for joining and supporting my channel. I appreciate that. She kept saying she never bothered me. She never like she never she
I let
she
you
just let me
you do the time frame.
Yep. I just she waited until I was comfortable. She didn't nag me about it. So I one day I was like, okay, fine. I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna have a friend over, twist my arm. I will meet a new person. Because I'm actually like that's a very uncomfortable thing for me to do most of the time. And not that I don't enjoy meeting people. Please don't think that's it. I very much like meeting new people, but I'm always worried like whether people are going to like me. It's more a me thing than a you thing.
It's an uncomfortable
It's
thing
uncomfortable for me because I don't think I'm that cool. So anyway, I invited her over. She came about 10 o'clock. And the thing that made me really like, she immediately came in with like a hostess gift for my hospitality, which I'm not saying I loved her because of the gift, but it made my not anxiety, but my unguardedness, it lowered my guardedness just a little bit. And then also when she was here, I just let her talk. For at least the good couple, like the first couple hours you were here, right?
Yep.
She just sat and chatted and I just listened. And actually it was really kind of cool because she listens to me talk. She was listening to me talk all the dang time on YouTube, and I had no clue who this lady was. So I was just like, okay, let me hear you. Let me hear you talk. And so she started talking, and then we started just kind of organizing fabric a little bit. We did that together. And then I offered to buy her lunch because I was like, listen, you can't help me organize my fabric without me at least buying lunch for you. So I think we went to, what was it, Moe's?
Yeah,
We went to Moe's.
Yeah.
Yep. I bought Jason, myself, and Mary a burrito bowl from Moe's. We sat and had lunch and went back in the sewing room and kept working. And before we knew it, she had been here for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And by the time she left, it felt very natural to me. It felt like I felt
like I had known you for like all my life.
Yeah.
And that we had just, had a little bit of a break or something, and we just like picked up where we left off kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I'd echo the same thing.
Yep.
I know, like, I have a few good quilty friends. Ian, Tiffany, Donna, Mary. I think that's like my core. That's Tiffany, Ian, Mary, Donna. I think that's who I like rotate between, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make sure that I give everybody their own time instead of putting everybody together because I want to have a relationship with that person. But with all of them, there was a certain level of comfort where it just felt natural. It just felt like, it just felt easy. Anyway, the reason why I went down that path though is because I remember a few months after we had met, she sent me a message, and she was like, we've only known each other since like August or something. 'Cause that's when she came out, and I was like, we have? I was like, what? She's like, we've only been hanging out for a few months. I was like, oh, it felt like years.
I agree.
Maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. Take that for what you'd like. But yeah, and I feel like I have that same sort of vibe. in some level, I have that same sort of vibe with Ian, Tiffany, and Donna.
Yeah. You just don't see them as often, but you
No.
talk to them on a more of a regular basis.
Well, yeah, and I think I talked to Donna probably the most out
Yeah.
of the four.
I agree.
And a lot of that has to do with Donna's Zoom too, because she's got a nice group of ladies in her Sew It Seams group that I really enjoy sewing with. And so they're all starting to become good friends too. I don't want to always sew by myself, so I'll jump on a group call with a bunch of other quilters, and it's nice just to see what they're working on and show them what I'm working on and just kind of sit. And sometimes your microphone's even muted and you're not even sewing, you're just
Yep.
or you're not even talking, you're just sewing with other people. And there's some sort of comfort in that, because quilting can be such a solidarity you know what I mean? When you get a
Yes.
chance to do it with somebody else, you get really excited.
Well, like I used to tell my husband all the time, like when you go on retreats and things like that, you get that camaraderie. You got people that share the same love and the same interests as you, and it just I think it's natural to want to be with other quilters and sew with them. So
And maybe that's why it was easy to fall in with people,
yeah.
because is everyone hearing this okay? I have my sound all the way up and can't hear. Marcia, no, I think it's on your end.
Okay.
Maybe leave and come back in. Make sure that your device is set the right way. It's not going to headphones or anything, but I'm seeing my audio level is perfect. So what I'm sending out is good. And Dragonflies for Donna is saying she can hear just fine.
Good. Yep. Becca has become my best friend. So I'm hoping that that once I move away and everything, and I'll come back and visit, like I said, but I hope that we can continue that just in a kind of like what she does with Donna,
And
over
Ian and Tiffany.
Ian and Tiffany, because yep, they're not local, so it'll be good. And then I'll come back and visit and drive her crazy for a couple of weeks or so. I think that it's going to be a more quality friendship.
Material Things is here. Material Things
Hi.
Virginia. Wait, that's not the shop we went to.
No, that
they
was
were in
Material
Maryland.
Girls.
Material Girls in Maryland. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, it's that quilt shop. And then I was like, wait, that was Maryland. And then you reminded me that is also not the name of the shop. Sorry.
It's
Hello,
okay.
I'm still excited that you're here.
That's cool.
All right. I have 19 faces made.
Yay!
19
Yeah,
faces.
and I see the top of the shirt, the collar.
Yeah, 19 of these made, and a 20th one that just needs these two pieces cut. So we'll be doing that in a moment. Marcia might be at that point where you didn't have your microphone on.
Oh.
When you left it on your jacket hanging out behind
sorry.
you. All right. So the next step on this is to start piecing out oh goodness. All right, I need to snowball fabric H with X and O.
Sounds painful.
Well, it does. But can we just appreciate this little tiny pinwheel block?
Oh my gosh, look at that.
I saved all the trimmings from the Panda.
You could put it on the back or something.
I am sad. Thought you still remembered my shop. Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. Material Things Virginia. Are you in Richmond? Because there's a Material Girl shop that we went to
in Maryland.
In Maryland. But there's a Material Things shop that I know I've been to, but I can't remember whether it was Southwest Virginia or Richmond. So she'll answer in a moment, and then I'll know. It'll be great. Yeah, okay. It's the yep. Okay, cool. It's the shop where I bought the book. They do a book club. You guys got to check this out, and I know they do it virtually. So we'll put their link to their shop down in the description box if you want to check them out. And I'll try to get the link in just a moment. But there's a shop outside of Richmond near where my stepson lives. They have all sorts of fun little quilty gildy typey things, and one of them is a book club. And they read quilt fiction. And I bought a book from them, and guess what? I still haven't read it.
You're like me. I'm not a big reader.
Yeah,
I would rather listen to an audio book than
I
read
will
a book.
listen to it on Audible, but I love the tangible feel of a book.
I do too.
So I buy the books and then I never read them, and then I'll listen to them on Audible. So yeah, it's definitely check them out. I felt bad because when I bought the book, she was like, "Oh, we have a book club," and I was like, "Yeah, that's like a 2-hour drive. I can't do that book club." And she was like, "Oh, well, but we also meet on Zoom," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I knew in my head I was probably not going to read the book. And it wasn't because I didn't want to. I just know me. But I did buy the book. I did buy the book. And I still haven't read it.
Because she's like me, she loves the smell of the book.
I love the smell of the book. I love the feel of the book. I love the everything of the book. And one of these days, I would like to actually start reading again.
Yeah.
And I did so Donna last year for my birthday bought me about 4 or 5 quilty books, and now I have the one for material things. But I have I have several quilty books, and I actually have one in my tote bag that I carry with me every day, and I'm looking around frantically for my tote bag and I don't see it, but I actually have one, and it's been about 3 weeks and I've gotten about 5 pages in.
Your tote bag.
Go me! 5 pages. Such a trooper.
I saw your tote bag a few minutes ago because I put it on the floor.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So I know it's yours.
Okay, so the pattern said I needed fabrics X and O and H. So I know H was sweater type fabric. Good night.
I know. There's lots of stuff.
It's jumping out.
Don't let it jump.
It did. Marcia says, I sew with my sister and some of her friends sometimes. It's very relaxing and I love seeing what they are working on. Some of them do large quilts and some do skinny quilts for wall hangings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. That's AA. Am I sure that those are the right letters? Let me consult the top secret pattern. Okay, I need H. I do not have H. I need X and I need O. X is this. Okay, so H is black and O is white.
I was hearing in my head, I do not like it, Sam, I am.
You ain't kidding. Okay. Marcia Brown says, I love tiny blocks. Me too. Me too.
I wish I could say I felt the same way.
I like tiny blocks. H. Okay. Now I need O, which should be a white fabric, and I'm very nervous because I don't see any white fabric in here.
Uh-oh.
This is M. This is L. Okay. Okay, I had them set in piles. So AA, all my browns were on this side. Need more sashing. I have that. I have that. I have that. So those are my browns. Just making sure it didn't get mixed in with anything else. It is white. This is Z. This is L. This is W. This is K. J. I. Nope, I don't have them. There are no O's. There are no O's. So we're at a standstill again. We'll have to cut some O's.
Oh, no. I know I cut
Let me just I didn't see O's in any of this either.
What sizes are the O's?
I don't know.
I will.
And don't say it out loud.
I'm sorry. I know.
Because don't want to give the pattern away.
I know.
I don't even know that I have any of that white, so...
Oh, it only needs 6. Okay.
No, it needs more than 6. It needs 1 per panda. I need 20.
Oh.
Because it's...
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the one...
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I think I'm going to need more than 20, actually. Yeah, because you're going to do it either side. So every panda needs 2. So you
Gotcha.
need 40.
Okay. Oh boy. Whoops.
And I don't know that I have any white in there. We might have to get more white.
Yeah.
Are you wearing... Okay, hold on. Yesterday, Jason and I had to go pick up some prescriptions from Walgreens, and we walked in, and guess who was there? Mary. She said, hey, I'm going to go run some errands. I'll see you guys later, and I think I'm going to stop and get breakfast while I'm out. And so she disappears. We walk into Walgreens. There's Mary. Okay, Mary puts in her order for her prescriptions. We pick up mine. I'm walking out of the store. Guess who I see again? Mary. Guess what Mary's doing? Standing in the Valentine's aisle, hugging a panda.
Look what I found. White.
Oh, that's the white that we bought.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So that isn't the brown. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, because we needed more white
Yes.
of that, and we're gonna need anyway. Okay, here you can go
All
cut.
right.
It needs to
go
be
cut.
starched and
Okay.
cut. We'll do it later.
Okay.
We should keep these business cards, I guess.
Yeah. I have one too. Here.
All right. So I guess I'm at a stopping point for now, but we will be able to pick those back up soon. The good news is the next part is really going to be faster because we're dealing with bigger pieces. The faces had the really small pieces. So maybe hopefully we should be on track to have this done by time Tiffany comes up. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. I'm going to see if I can find material things. Yep, there it is. I'm going to grab their website and I'm going to plop that in the chat if you guys are curious. You can check them out. They have a book club and other fun things there. I'll also put that in the description box down below if you're watching the replay. What other questions do you guys have? Because I'm done sewing the pandas. Mary, are you going to name every one of those 20 pandas?
No.
No. She said no. She's just going to call it her panda quilt. And
It's a collection of pandas.
I think we should start a poll.
Uh-oh.
I think we should ask. I'm going to ask the audience. Should we sneak an angry panda in the quilt somewhere?
No.
I'm going to see what they say.
I know.
Oh, yes, 100% are saying yes right now. Oh, it was down to 72%, and then it went back up to 100.
No.
And now...
No. Pandas are not angry. Pandas are happy animals.
But this audience thinks one of them needs to be.
No. I'll cry.
So for those of you that don't know the story behind this poll, let me tell you, and then you can cast your vote. On one of the live streams, most of the time when I've been working on the pandas, I've been doing it on a live stream. I've actually not worked on it very much off camera. But on one of the sessions where I was sitting, Judy said yes, and named Becca. In one of the sessions where I was sewing, I accidentally turned, the eyes are all slanted this way, but I accidentally slanted them this way. And it looked like an angry panda. And I only did it on one. And one of the viewers saw it. And they're like, hey, I think you got the eyes messed up on one of them. And I was like, oh yeah, it looks like an angry panda. And I was like, I probably got to fix it because Mary will want them all to look the same. I'll let her decide, but because otherwise I'll leave it in. And Mary was watching. She's like, no angry pandas, no angry pandas. Pandas are not angry animals. So we changed. I did rip the seam. I put it back the right way. So now all of them are happy pandas.
As it should be.
I felt like it was adequate to make one panda angry because when I agreed to do this quilt for her, I was going to do 9 panda blocks. And then she was like, hey, I want it a little bit bigger than the 9. So I'm thinking maybe like 3 by 4. So I was like, oh, okay, 12. 3 more blocks. Not a big deal. And then she shows up with a tub full of fabric. And she's like, I couldn't decide which fabric I liked for the sweater. So we're just going to make 20, okay?
How do we go from 12 to 20? Just think of it this way. It's going to be big enough to fit on my bed. My whole room is going to be decorated around that quilt.
I don't think it will.
Yes, it will.
I think I don't think it's going to be the size you want it to be. I think it'll fit your quilt. I think it'll fit your bed. But I think we're going to have to do some tweaking to the width, because I think if we leave it 4x5, because the blocks are taller than they are wider, you're going to have a runway quilt.
Okay, we'll have to see.
Yep, we'll figure it out. Not a big deal.
We'll have to see.
Because honestly, everything that we're doing this entirely with Art Gallery Fabrics.
Yep.
She's really excited about that. So all of it is solids. We just have to get some more solids to make it work the way I think it's going to work. I don't think we're adding borders to it. All of the pandas are going to be on that tan background. I just think if we just have to space the pandas out so they're a little bit further away from each other, but still very much still the 3 or the 4 across with the 5 down. I'm just afraid that she's going to have a runway quilt so I don't even think she would care if it was a runway quilt, because it would tuck up over her pillows, which is what I think she wants it to do.
Yes.
But I also know Mary well enough to know that when she's talking, she wants the quilt big. She doesn't want it just to be big to cover her pillows. She wants it to hang off of her bed.
Exactly.
She wants that big drape look. And I don't think just by doing 4 across without adding extra background into it, she's going to get that drape effect.
Okay, we can see when it gets close to when we start assembling it.
Anna said, no, we don't need to add extra background. We just need to make it a 5x5, make it 25 pandas.
Oh, no. I like Anna. She's awesome.
My quilt project says it could either be angry and scene rip or allow the panda to be in his own emotional state.
No angry pandas.
Karen said, would you let the panda be in the quilt if it wasn't an angry panda but a sad panda because you moved away from me?
Aww.
Okay, I added the last part.
That's just unfair. That's just unfair. Don't put me through this turmoil.
It's okay. She didn't say the piece about moving away. I did add that in myself. Are you going to sash around each panda? Yes, I will be. But the sashing that we cut might need to be a little bit bigger, just because I think we're going to have to make it wider. Somebody said I should make the angry panda as a 21st panda. The front of the quilt should be all 20, and on the back, the label can be the angry panda.
She already suggested that.
I did, and she already told me no. Mary, you're going to love this response, though.
Uh-oh.
Somebody told me I should make the angry panda and keep it for myself.
There you go. I like that.
Denise said, make an angry panda accessory pillow, bed runner, wall hanging, whatever. If she has not asked to not include an angry panda, why disappoint a friend?
Oh.
So I will not be putting an angry panda into the quilt, just for full transparency, because this is her quilt. This is what she's asked for. I think it would be a fun story, but I do like to tease her about the angry panda. And it was actually not that much work to fix it. It was ripping one seam and flipping that part around. It wasn't that big of a deal. So
I just can't see. Have never seen an angry panda. I don't even think I've seen a sad panda.
I don't know. I had a teacher in 3rd grade that maybe it was 1st grade, but whatever, elementary school. She loved panda bears. No, it was koalas. Never mind.
Yep.
Strike that from the record. She loved koalas.
I've just always, I don't know what my attraction is to the pandas, but they're solitary animals. They like to be by themselves.
So they're quilters.
Yeah. They're just very they just are they look huggable to me. I know they're wild animals, so they can be vicious. I mean, they can attack you.
Yeah, I think polar bears are huggable too.
Yeah. But I love their eyes. Their eyes just really reach out to me, and I feel like you can see down into their soul.
They rip your head off.
Yeah, I just feel like you can see down into their souls. Not that animals, well, I guess animals have souls. I don't know, but
Well, so I feel the same way very much about whales and dolphins.
exactly.
Like dolphins are very playful to me, and I forgot how
No
much.
angry dolphins in
No
your
angry
group.
dolphins. Angry dolphin, like dolphins are there to protect you.
Yeah.
In my world, when I'm swimming in the ocean, the dolphins are there looking out for me. So,
And every time I see dolphins, I think about Flipper.
oh no, I don't.
Mm.
I don't. I loved dolphins. So when I was little, I loved horses.
Me
Very much
too.
loved horses. But then as I got older, I really liked whales and dolphins. I just loved them. And as I grew into an adult, I kind of forgot about that because
Mm.
when you move into, like, as I moved into an adult and got married and had a kid, I stopped thinking about the things like that
That
made me
like
really
your
excited.
childhood
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Like, I was just moving on with life until
Yep.
when we moved to DC, we went to the Baltimore Aquarium. I don't know if they still have them, but they had a pod of dolphins that some
I
of,
don't think they do
well,
anymore.
I know they
Yeah.
don't do shows,
Yeah.
but at the time they would have dolphin shows throughout the day. And then for a period of time, for several years, the dolphins were there and the trainers were working with them, doing things, but they were not putting on shows. There were no
Okay.
shows. You could sit and observe, but there were no, and I think the goal was to release them all, like get them all
Mm-hmm.
back out into the wild. So, when we went and they did the dolphin show and I sat down and I saw one of the dolphins come out and swim,
Mm-hmm.
I literally squealed like a girl and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot about how much I love these." So, but it's like it's like orcas, blue whales, all like the whole whale, and actually technically orcas are dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
when I went on a cruise one time, they were swimming along the boat with us.
Yeah, I
We
had
saw
that.
them on the side.
Yep, my ex and I, we were in Florida. His parents had a place that they would stay outside of Tampa during the winter,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd go down in the winter to visit. His dad had like just a little fishing boat. It wasn't a, it was just literally like a little fishing boat,
Mm-hmm.
and we were out in the water, and there were like 3 or 4 dolphins just swimming under our little boat, and
I
all over. I
love
could
it.
have reached out and touched them. I was literally giddy the whole time. It was great.
Yep. I
It,
love dolphins. I've always loved dolphins too. I do like whales, but I'm a big dolphin fan more than I am a whale fan. But pandas just have my heart, so they
yeah,
always have.
I think whales have more of my heart than dolphins do.
Yeah.
I love dolphins, but there's something about the whales that I just, and like my whole thing, like, I would love to go on a whale watching cruise. Like I want to go to Alaska
I
and
did that in Alaska. It was so cool. I got to go and see whales and American eagles.
Oh,
Yeah, which
very
was
cool.
really, really cool. We got to see baby eagles in a nest. And I went to the they have a raptor center, and we got to go and see the eagles up close, which was really cool.
Anna said horses are the best. People all say that you do attach to one animal. Mine is bats. However, I am drawn to most animals, especially seals, sea lions, whales, red pandas, horses, dogs, but never wolves, and owls.
I'm surprised. We had a red panda at the zoo that escaped one time, and he was roaming through DC. Remember? Did you remember that? Rusty, you probably weren't here then. Rusty the red panda he escaped the National Zoo, and
Oh,
it took them a while to catch him,
wow.
but he was roaming all around DC.
Ellen says, I never outgrew the horse love. I wonder if most girls have a love
I
for
know. I
horses when
think
they're
they do
kids.
because of when I was a kid, I remember that book. One of the when I was in grade school, Misty of Chincoteague, and I fell in love with that book. I had to do a book report on it, and I always wanted to go to Chincoteague Island and go see the pony swim across across the bay, and never have done that yet. So one of these days, I would like to go do that. So,
Well, we ended the poll.
uh-huh. I know I lost, right?
Well, but it's your quilt, and
I
we'll
know.
never do what you don't want in your quilt. But 80% do think that an angry panda has to work itself in there. There are 137 votes. 80% said yes, 19% said no.
Okay.
But I'm not going to
I
do it
know.
because, I mean, honestly, if she were making dolphins for me and one of them ended up upside down, she's like, but I think it's a really cool thing with one of them being upside down. I'd be like, no,
No,
fix it.
fix
I would
it.
want her to fix it. And so this is her quilt that she's going to look at every day.
Yeah.
We can always tease her. We can always make it as a side project for something else, but it won't be in this quilt.
Yeah.
So Terry says, I'm a dog lover and a big cat lover. They are so majestic.
Yeah.
Ellen says, me too. I loved those books.
Yep. And I also remember I loved the movie Black Beauty. That was I've seen Arabian horses and have petted them up close. And when I went to Florida, I went to the Arabian Nights dinner show and got the backstage VIP passes. And Arabian horses are so gorgeous.
Wow, wow, wow. Tangles S says, I come back and now we're doing angry pandas. Just for clarification, we were just teasing her. We're not making any angry pandas. Sylvia says, I can't talk. I got to hear whales from our bedroom window when it was open. You could hear the sprout and the breathing from the spout when they're out there hanging out and relaxing.
Yep.
Anna Noel says, I work in the equine industry. I don't think anyone realizes how much they hurt themselves. They are so strong, yet so fragile.
Yes.
About the horses.
Yes, that's true.
Yep. Anna says, I fold a few Arabians.
Ooh, that's cool.
Tanya Turbach says, first time here, or this is my first time. My granddaughter loves pandas. Is there a pattern? Yes, there is, and I will give it to you right now. You can get this over at Fat Quarter Shop. I'm going to give you an affiliate link for the panda quilt. This will help me earn a few pennies for my channel, and I would really appreciate it if you use it. So I'll tag you, Tanya. There's the link.
And welcome, Tanya, for the first time. We hope you'll hang around. We hope you'll come back.
Laura says I should make an angry panda mug rug.
Oh,
that way you can set your Mountain Dew on the eyes and it will never be angry.
Okay.
Donna says I have wild horses that run through my ranch.
Ooh, cool.
Anna says I pulled an Arabian filly out of her sack as it didn't rip and Mom was too exhausted. Oh my goodness.
Aww.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, it's about 4 o'clock. I've been live for about an hour and a half, and I think I'm going to take this time to wrap up the live stream. If there are any other questions that you have for Mary or myself, now is the time to ask them because we're going to be ending in just a couple of minutes. I feel like I made some progress on the pandas. I now have 19 faces, and I'll have 20 very soon, I'm sure. And then from there, we'll be working on the bodies of them. Hopefully I'll get them done before Tiffany comes, but honestly,
If they don't, it's fine.
I don't know that I'll be able to get it quilted on mine because my frame is only a 10-foot frame, and this is going to be a very big quilt. So it might have to be something that goes home with Tiffany quilt or may even have to go to someone else. Marcia says, I am going on a quilting cruise to Alaska later this year, and I can hardly wait.
Yeah, I went on a quilting cruise to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I went on a Paula Deen cooking cruise to Alaska.
Catherine, thank you so much. She says, I can't say enough about your color choices on the lion. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am working on the block that I'm making now is actually like his mustache area. And there's some green in that mustache. So it's taking me a little bit longer to put that one together because every time I see a piece of green, I'm going in and I'm thinking based on the whole layout of the quilt, what color should replace it in that block. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping the shading with the quilt. So if it was a bright or a light green, then I want to choose something with the same shading, with the same, what's the word? What's the word? Like when you're talking about brightness, saturation, like
contrast.
Well, yeah, that's not the word.
Not the word.
But that was the word I was thinking of, but it doesn't mean the thing I was thinking.
Oh,
I want to choose the right tone, like the right shade. So, yeah, and I am sad though because I didn't have enough fabric to do it because I used the kit. I am calling him Mufasa because this reminds me of the lion at night, the scene from Lion King. And that's part of the reason why I did the Starry Night background. The only problem is Mufasa in the movie has a red mane and he really doesn't. but it doesn't matter. So we're still calling him.
I love the background of that quilt. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be
perfect.
gorgeous.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And if you haven't seen it, there is a moon that I FPP'd up in the corner. And I was worried that the moon was going to be too small for the scale of the quilt. However, if you're this close to a lion's face, that moon is probably going to look about that size. And if you're this close to a lion's face and you can see the white of his eyes, you're probably not going to live to talk about the moon.
That's very true.
All right, friends. I think that's about all I'm going to do today. What do I have coming up this week? I do not believe I will have a recorded video because I've got lots of live streams this week. I have the one today. I have my live stream Friday night, and then Saturday evening I'll be doing another live with Donna. But the next week we'll have a recorded video for you, and I'll be doing a live with Tiffany as well as my Friday night live stream. So make sure to check all those out. All the live streams are already scheduled, so you can click the little notify button so you'll get notified when I go live. And as always, hug someone, tell them you love them, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.